4 or 5 years ago, I started with an Etsy shop. I knit things. I knitted laptop sleeves. I slowly organized. I lived in the Netherlands, sorry, and I organized the Dutch team on Etsy, and we became very active. I had a blog. Our blog was in Dutch. We focused on the Dutch community, and we got press, etc. I will stand up. And then slowly I kind of started working for Etsy. This was 2 years ago. And now I moved to France a month ago. And I'm not going to work anymore for the Netherlands, but with a team of people situated in New York, but also in London, we will start working on markets where we don't have big teams. Greece is one of these big markets where we have, as we can see, a lot of sellers, and that's why we are here. For this first meeting, we will try to explain you a lot of things about Etsy, because most of you are new. But the second meeting, we would like to hear from you things that we can change, we can improve, things we can, people we can reach out to in your community, those kind of things. So that's kind of a quick introduction.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'll try to speak as loud as I can because it's a big room. I have been at Etsy now for a little over 2 years, actually working for the company the entire time. The company itself, I work in our headquarter office in New York, and most of the employees that we've had in previous years have been based in New York. We've been trying to expand the number of employees that we have outside of the U.S. When I started 2 years ago, we had about 100 people that worked for Etsy, and now we have about 400 people. I've worked on the technology side of the business the entire time, so I'm not a knitter. I'm a maker of websites or of technology. So that's how I found my way to Etsy, and that's what I've been working on since I've been here. I've worked on lots of different aspects of the site, so if there's things that you don't like, you can complain to me about them. If there's things that you like, it was all my fault. That's good. As Martha said, so I actually started working and leading the business that we have. We have a team of people now that focus on the Etsy sellers that we have outside of the U.S. And it's been a very quickly and exciting growing team that we've had over the last maybe 8 months now. And so part of what we've done, we've never had people come to Greece before. We just came from Turkey also. We've never had people go to Turkey before. And part of one of the roles of our groups is to come and understand what it is that you guys are working on and some of the struggles that you guys have. Because every market's a little different. All the different things that you guys struggle with and the challenges that you have are different than what they have in the UK, and they're different than what they have in Japan. And Etsy is everywhere now, which is fun for us, but it makes it complex. So this is why we're trying to grow our team so that we can support people everywhere. And we want you guys to know that you're just as important as the sellers and the seller community that we have in the United States. So with that, Greece has been a particularly interesting market for us because you've been growing so fast, especially on the seller side. So all of you.
Παρακαλώ, αν μπορείτε όλοι να κλείσετε τα κινητά σας για να μπορέσουμε να κουβεντιάσουμε πιο εύκολα.
So one of the things that I can tell you that we've been seeing over the last year is that there have been a lot of growth, especially in Europe, both on the seller side and on the buyer side, but more so in specific countries. So Greece is one it's growing particularly fast. So we're very excited to be here and understand why that is and why you guys come to find Etsy and what's exciting. So I had a couple of questions to start. So yes.
Αν κάποιος χρειάζεται να ρωτήσει κάτι ή θέλει να συμμετέχει γενικώς και θέλει βοήθεια στα αγγλικά, μου λέει εμένα. Αν θέλετε να πω κάτι ή αν δεν καταλαβαίνετε κάτι που είπε, πάλι άμα θέλετε μπορώ να βοηθήσω. Ευχαριστώ. Sorry.
I should wait. How many have been on? How many people are here that have never sold on Etsy before? They're just here to learn. Okay, interesting. How many people have made at least one sale?
At least one.
How many made it at least 10? How many made at least 40? 100? 200? 300?
Almost.
2,000? What do you sell?
With 5 shops.
With 5 shops. What do you sell?
Many things. Velvet things.
Velvet things, okay. So not supplies.
Silver.
Not supplies.
What? I didn't understand.
Supplies.
And supplies.
And supplies. Yeah, that's it.
No, it's handmade.
Yes.
It's not cheap.
Sure.
It's expensive.
And how long have you been on Etsy?
Since 2008.
Okay. And everyone is relatively new, or most people are relatively new then to Etsy. Within the last year, is it more common?
The majority, yes. At least in this group, yes.
I don't have a shop yet.
You don't have a shop yet, but you're here to learn. What do you make?
I crochet
You crochet.
and some sewing, but not much.
Okay. And most people, do you sell handmade things? Anyone sell vintage things? And then supplies? What are the supplies? You too. Interesting. Okay. What's that?
We are very creative.
Very creative, exactly. Right. And, so one more question. How many people have another full-time job? How many people is crafting and what you're doing with Etsy? You may sell in other places, but that's your full-time job.
Όσοι είναι αποκλειστική απασχόληση το έτσι και από αυτό βγάζετε προστοσύνη.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And of the people that are selling on Etsy now, how many people sell in other places? Maybe in a store or on another website? And of the people that have been using the site already, how many people think that they know how to sell well on Etsy? 2,000 sales, you better. Okay. So
not everything.
Yes.
I'm not an expert.
Yes.
But I think I know some tricks.
Okay.
Some help. I can give help to other people.
So the new folks, how many times have you met with the team before? How many times, for people here, how many times is it the first time that you're meeting anyone from the team? So one secret that I'll share is that there's a lot of knowledge and value you can get from being part of a team. We tell this to people often when we meet with groups of people that they'll ask us all these questions, right? It's like, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? And oftentimes, members of your team are going to know better than we will, especially if you're selling something very specific. So if you're selling jewelry, you can find someone else on your team that sells jewelry, that sells it from your market, that knows how to do shipping, that knows how to do customer service. They've worked with people before. You'll be able to get a very specific answer. If you ask us, what we can offer is really more the best strategies kind of across the board for how to do well on Etsy. Etsy is working on trying to provide everyone with better information so that each of you can be able to run your shop better, and so that you have some information that you can make some of these decisions on. But little by little, we're trying to do that. But you'll get the most information from all the people in this room. You'll get more information than you will from us. So we're happy to be here to give the information we can. But
αυτό που είπε τώρα ο Άντριου, το τελευταίο, ότι μέσα στην ομάδα μπορείτε να μαθαίνετε εύκολα κάποιες απαντήσεις, αλλά έχει πολύ μεγάλη σημασία επίσης ότι και το έτσι, τουλάχιστον από την εταιρεία που έχουμε εμείς λίγο πιο παλιή, είναι ότι ταυτοχρόνως λειτουργεί και εκπαιδευτικά. Δηλαδή για κάποιον ο οποίος ασχολείται με το χειροποίητο και θέλει να μπει στη διαδικασία να το πουλήσει, Το έτσι είναι σχεδόν αυτό που μπορεί να σε μάθει όλα τα μυστικά, τα οποία αφορούν βέβαια την online πώληση, αλλά εν τέλει αποκτάς και μία παιδεία που σε βοηθάει να πουλήσεις γενικότερα. Ακόμη και σε ένα μπαζάρ, ακόμη και σε ένα μαγαζί. Γιατί μαθαίνεις να φύγεις λίγο από το ερασιτεχνικό, που θέλουμε πάντα σαν χειροτέχνες να νιώθουμε και λίγο χομπίστες. Δεν μας αρέσει να νιώθουμε πολύ επαγγελματίες, έτσι πιο ψυχρό πράγμα. Σε μαθαίνει όμως ταυτοχρόνως όλο αυτό να το βλέπεις πολύ σοβαρά, επαγγελματικά και με ποιότητα. Και θεωρώ, τουλάχιστον με τη δική μου εμπειρία, ότι αυτή είναι η μεγαλύτερη δοξία. Έχει εκπαιδευτική αξία κιόλας. Και όσοι από εσάς είσαστε ήδη στην ομάδα ή όσοι πρόκειται να μπείτε στο έτσι και θα μπείτε και στην ομάδα, καλό είναι να μην τρεπόσαστε, να μπαίνετε στα φόρουμ, να ρωτάτε ό,τι θέλετε, διότι εμείς έχουμε μια συμπυκνωμένη εμπειρία που εσείς για να βρείτε κάτι πάρα πολύ απλό μπορεί να ψάχνετε 5 μέρες μέσα στο έτσι και να σας το πούμε εμείς σε 10 λεπτά, ας πούμε.
Αλλά στο φόρουμ συνομιλούμε καθημερινά εκεί, δηλαδή είναι όλος ο κόσμος μαζεμένος.
Είναι κάποιο συγκεκριμένο φόρουμ ελληνικό?
Ναι, στις ελληνικές
Ναι, ελληνικά.
Ποιο είναι το...
Πώς το λέμε το τίτλο που πάμε?
Του μήνα.
Του μήνα το φόρουμ, λέμε, γράφουμε πάντα το μήνα, θα δείτε και κάτι καρδούλες.
Γιατί εκεί θα σας απαντήσουν άμεσα, δηλαδή είναι πάντα κάποιος μέσα που θα σας
Συγγνώμη, δηλαδή μπαίνω στο site του έτσι, πώς μπορώ να βρω αυτό το φόρουμ?
Αυτό όταν θα είσαι έτσι seller όμως και μέλος της ομάδας.
Ναι, ναι, πες ότι έχω κάνει το μαγαζί και θέλω να επικοινωνήσω μαζί σας.
Έτσι, το chat thread του κάθε μήνα.
Εννοείς το ελληνικό
So, I'll just say one more quick thing about just where Etsy is kind of on a sort of high level and where we're thinking about where the company is going for all of you, and then we can talk a little bit about some basics of, Martha was going to share some of the basics about how to be successful as a seller, and then we can open it up to questions. So from its beginnings, Etsy was started by someone who was a crafter like yourself. And he was just kind of starting the company as to find a place to sell the furniture that he made. And as Etsy has evolved, we've really been kind of focused on just supporting crafters, right? And people who run small businesses or may do this as a hobby. One of the things that we want to be doing more in the future is you guys run real businesses. And we want to be supporting the fact that you run real businesses, and so we want to have better tools for you to run and handle your business and actually run it in a way that's very professional. So we'll still support hobbyists, but that's more the future of what we're thinking about.
Χρειάζεται κάποιος, θέλετε να σας το πω, νομίζω καταλάβατε.
Okay, so because we are here with a new group of sellers, I will very shortly explain how Etsy works, which for most of you will be boring, and then I will share some things that are important for you to sell on Etsy. The first things, not the secret tips that maybe she will have, but she will tell you in the team. Yeah. So when you start a shop on Etsy, it's important to know that you will pay $20 for every $20 for every listing you place on Etsy. When you sell it, only when you sell it, you will pay 3.5% of the item price. So this is kind of reasonable, and we do this because the guy that started Etsy also was a maker, and he realized that making things by hand is it costs a lot of time, and it's therefore a little bit more expensive, so asking a bigger percentage is not the best way to do it. So that's why we think about this for you. So then you have your shop, which you can fill with all kinds of things like a banner, your items, information about you, information about your policies. Please fill all these things out, because all kinds of different people look at your shop in a different way. Some are very simply interested in getting something which is 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters, but other people want to hear about you, who you are, and they can only read that in your about page. So for the first time, try to fill as much as possible. And also your shop policies. This is maybe more difficult for some of you. I think for your shop policies, we have general items posted on the forum in the help section, where you can find general information, which again is for like all the people that sell on Etsy. But if there are specific rules in your country, it's again more better to go to the team and ask, like, are there certain things that I have to fill out in Greece that are important for, I don't know, taxes or whatever. If you have all these things set, you might find that even though you have items in your shop, you still don't sell, or some of you who had only one sell. It's always good to then improve your shop by looking at your listings. There are a few things that are important, like your title. Is it descriptive enough? Does it say what it is? Your tags, do you use all your tags? If I'm saying tags and titles, if somebody doesn't understand what a tag is because you don't have a shop, please shout, so interrupt me.
Αυτό νομίζω ότι θα ήταν καλύτερα να το μεταφράσετε, γιατί είναι μια αργό προφανώς.
Το κάθε αντικείμενο το οποίο ανεβάζεται στο Etsy έχει το δικαίωμα να περιγραφεί πέρα από τον τίτλο και την περιγραφή την αναλυτική από λέξεις κλειδιά, τα οποία εμφανίζονται στην αναζήτηση, στο search. Υπάρχουν tips, πληροφορίες και βοήθεια για το ποιος είναι ο σωστός τρόπος να γράφετε τις λέξεις κλειδιά. Και αυτό θέλει λίγη δουλειά, έτσι. Θέλει κάποιος δηλαδή να το προσπαθήσει. Εάν, για παράδειγμα, πουλάει ένα δαχτυλίδι, ένα σωστό tag δεν θα ήταν το δαχτυλίδι, η λέξη δαχτυλίδι, απαραίτητα, αλλά κάτι που να περιγράφει το δαχτυλίδι. Ξέρω εγώ, δερμάτινο δαχτυλίδι, κόκκινο δαχτυλίδι, μεγάλο δαχτυλίδι.
Να προσπαθήσετε δηλαδή να σκεφτείτε όπως σκέφτεται ο αγοραστής που θέλει να βρει κάποιο αντικείμενο.
Αυτό είναι μια λέξη κλειδί η οποία χαρακτηρίζει το αντικείμενό σας. Έχετε δικαίωμα να βάλετε 13 τέτοιες λέξεις κλειδιά ή μικρές φράσεις κλειδιά, τα οποία λέγονται tags. Αυτό εννοεί η Μάρτα με τον όρο tags. Είναι
τη λέξη ετικέτα.
Λέξη ετικέτα, ακριβώς.
Λέξη ετικέτα είναι δηλαδή τη λέξη κλειδί, ας πούμε.
Ναι.
I'll say a quick thing. The reason why titles and tags are important is because the main way that people are going to find your listings is through the search function on the site. The search function on the site takes into account a lot of different types of information, but probably the most important types that you guys have control over are how descriptive your title is and how descriptive your tags are. So your title, the first 8 words are the most important. So make sure that those are extremely descriptive.
Η κουλτούρα, ας πούμε, των αγοραστών μέσα στο Etsy συνήθως είναι ότι όταν ο άλλος θέλει να αγοράσει κάτι και σχεδόν κάτι συγκεκριμένο στο μυαλό του, γιατί το θέλει, τι περίπου είναι, μπορεί να σου βάλει, ας πούμε, επάνω στην μπάρα που έχει το search, ας πούμε, το Etsy, κόκκινο δαχτυλίδι, ασημένιο, ξέρω εγώ, μεγάλο μέγεθος. Μπορεί να βάλει τέτοιου είδους αναζήτηση. Οπότε όταν βάζει αυτό το πράγμα γιατί θέλει να είναι συγκεκριμένος, θα του βγουν αυτά που έχουν τα αντίστοιχα tags. Μπορεί να έχει ένα τέτοιο τέλειο κόκκινο δαχτυλίδι και αν δεν έχει αυτό το tag, να μην το δει ποτέ μπροστά του.
Οι 8 πρώτες λέξεις του τίτλου είναι επίσης πάρα πολύ σημαντικές. Αυτό είπε τώρα ο Άντριο, ότι εκτός από τα tags, οι 8 πρώτες λέξεις του τίτλου πρέπει να είναι όσο πιο περιγραφικές γίνεται. Δηλαδή, και σχετικές με το αντικείμενο.
Στον τίτλο, στο δαχτυλίδι, γράψτε όσο πιο αναλυτικά γίνεται τι δαχτυλίδι είναι, κάποια πράγματα που μας χαρακτηρίζουν.
Να ρωτήσω κάτι. Υπάρχουν multiple choice σε αυτές τις περιγραφές και τα αντικείμενα, άρα εφεύρεις.
Ναι. Στην ουσία περιγράφεις το
άρα παρατηρείς τι κάνουν άλλοι με ανάλογα αντικείμενα προφανώς για να βοηθηθείς, έτσι.
Όταν βρίσκεται περιορισμό στα τάξη, υπάρχει αριθμός συγκεκριμένος.
Είναι 13 αριθμός.
In the beginning there are a few multiple choices, but then they are...
Right, thank you. Οι 3 πρώτες λέξεις, οι οποίες χρησιμοποιούνται σαν tags, είναι όντως multiple choice, δηλαδή έχεις ένα drop-down list μια λίστα που πέφτει προς τα κάτω, θα πατάς το ποντίκι εκεί πέρα, που είναι οι 3 πιο χαρακτηριστικές λέξεις, δηλαδή αν είναι handmade supplies ή vintage. Ναι, και μετά εντάσσεται σε κατηγορία. Τι είναι ακριβώς και σου έχει ένα κατεβατό, μην τα ρυθμίσουμε όλα, ο καθένας θέλει το αντικείμενο του περίπου τι είναι. Έτσι, αυτό.
I want to ask some for tags. Yes, if I put the multiple choice about the style, that it's minimal and industrial, do I have to write it again at the tags, at the 13 tags that I have?
Yeah, so the thing is, the thing which is above the multiple choices, I don't think we use it, so we will use it, but it's not in use now. So always do it again. But so we plan to evolve.
Because it's only 13 tags, so
yes,
if I already use it as a tag,
so
the answer is do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the size,
or you can fix it in
now they don't look, but
or give us 25.
yeah. Yes. That will come in the second meeting. So then after you have done all the texts, right, please use good pictures. Look around you also for decks and those kind of things, but look around successful sellers, what kind of pictures they have. Don't copy, but just learn from them. Do they make pictures? Do they sell if their pictures are made in a dark flash? Probably not. We use pictures in how we combine things together in newsletters, but also on the front page. But it's also how sellers buy your item after they have searched. They will probably come at your page, or they first have to look from. If they are looking for a red scarf, there will be a page full with red scarves, and you want to pop out of this page, and you will only do that if your picture is inspirational. So please take some time to improve your pictures. Use again all the options that are possible. If there are 5 pictures you can put up there, use all of them.
So again, to recap, tags and titles are the way to show up in search. Good photos are the way to have people click on your item. And then I think she's going to explain, but descriptions and good descriptions are a good way to have people actually buy the item.
Yeah.
So
the photo is the first reason.
It's the second one, because the first one will be a red scarf. Yes. And then they will want to know how long the scarf is, if it's acrylic or wool. So put all this information in there so that people don't question it and then go away. They have everything in a, and don't put an essay on there. Be as elaborative as you have to, and if you want to tell a lot, put a little recap on the top, which kind of gives the main information, so you can. Sorry. Oh.
Είναι πολύ σημαντικό στην περιγραφή να μην αφήσετε τον αγοραστή με απορία. Δηλαδή, είναι μεγάλο τελικά αυτό, είναι μικρό, είναι. Ξέρω εγώ, ναι, από τι είναι φτιαγμένο, από τι υλικό, είναι ακριλικό το κασκόλ, είναι βαμβακερό, τι είναι. Οπότε το καλό είναι να γράφετε αυτό που λέει η Μάρθα, είναι να γράφετε αρκετή πληροφορία μέσα. Μην γράφετε την ιστορία της ζωής σας σε μια έκθεση, γιατί θα κουραστεί ενδεχομένως ο αγοραστής, ο πιθανός αγοραστής, αλλά να δίνετε όλη την πληροφορία που θα θέλατε να είχατε αν ήσταν εσείς ο αγοραστής. Που θα θέλατε να ξέρετε εσείς αν ήταν να αγοράσετε το αντικείμενο.
Να κάνω μια ερώτηση για να μην μπερδευτούμε. Για τη φωτογραφία. Τι μέγεθος και τι.
Ποιο θα για να πούνε και πίσω.
Όσον αφορά τη φωτογραφία, πέραν του αισθητικού μέρους, το πώς δηλαδή μπορεί να είναι παρμένη για να δείχνει το αντικείμενο, τι βάρος μπορεί να έχει, ενώ ψηφιακό βάρος και τι μέγεθος. Ούτως ώστε και ο αγοραστής να μπορεί να την κατεβάζει εύκολα, γιατί παρατηρώ, επειδή είμαι αγοραστής αρκετά συχνά στο 6,
He's asking about the pixel size and the size of the picture because he like.
Θα ήθελες να είναι πιο εύκολο τι να κατεβαίνει η φωτογραφία, να την κάνεις download.
Which is the best way to take the photo. I mean,
φωτογραφία ποιο μέγεθος είναι καλό.
Which is the best digit size.
Yeah.
when we click to see it very quickly, because you see differences. Sometimes you see a photo very quickly, but in some cases you wait long to see the photo.
Gotcha. So you mean for the buyer,
Yeah,
it would take a long time to load.
If he wants to zoom in, the load time would be larger in a larger file.
While you're listing?
While
you're listing or when the buyers want?
When the buyers want to buy it.
So we optimize all of that on the site. So the size of your listing has no bearing on how long it takes someone to load the picture.
Αυτό το βελτιστοποιούν, το κάνουν ίδιο flat για όλους και έχει να κάνει μάλλον με τη σύνδεσή σου το αν κάποια φωτογραφία σου φτώνει πιο γρήγορα ή αργά.
Ναι, αλλά μπορεί την ίδια στιγμή να κατεβάζω μια φωτογραφία και την άλλη στιγμή να κατεβάζω μια άλλη και να υπάρχει μεγάλη διαφορά στην ταχύτητα που κατεβάζω.
Ναι, αλλά δεν έχει να κάνει με τη site όμως.
Δεν έχει να κάνει με τη φωτογραφία που έχει δώσει ο καθένας.
Συνήθως όμως, και μας έχει δώσει δηλαδή αυτή την οδηγία το έτσι, ότι το καλό μέγεθος είναι η οριζόντια τουλάχιστον διάσταση να είναι 1000 pixels. Οπότε, όταν μετά πατάει επάνω στη φωτογραφία ο αγοραστής για να τη δει ακόμη πιο μεγάλη και να είναι αρκετά γρήγορο να το ανοίξει και να τη βλέπει και σε αρκετά μεγάλο μέγεθος. Είναι ένα συνολικό πράγμα το οποίο δηλαδή όταν κάποιος ανοίγει το μαγαζί το μέσος το βρίσκει, δεν είναι θέμα. Αλλά είναι καλό για ανοιχτό μέγεθος, όχι ας πούμε 500 πίξελ, δεν πρόκειται ποτέ να μεγαλώσει αυτά.
Yeah, when the buyer's looking at it, it just depends on the buyer's internet speed.
Yeah. Δεν έχει να κάνει με την ταχύτητα της σύνδεσης του.
Just don't make it too small. So it's more important not to make it too small so that it's like blurry and you don't see anything than making it too big. I think that's the most important part.
So what resolution have to be?
I don't know by heart, but it's somewhere on the website.
It's, I think there is only a limit in minimum.
Yeah.
Not in maximum size.
Ένα 1500 με 1500 γενικώς δεν έχει καλά.
If you put I mean, if you put a very big picture, we'll size it down.
Για ανάλυση.
But I think it's best this kind of information just to look at you probably have a big article that says exactly.
Αλλά δεν υπάρχει κάποιο. Υπάρχει minimum, δεν υπάρχει maximum στην ανάλυση.
Το maximum το διορθώνει το έτσι και το εμφανίζει περίπου το ίδιο. Το minimum δεν μπορεί να μεγαλώσει, θα είναι μικρό.
Μπορεί να το μεγαλώσει, απλά θα το σπρετσάρει.
Θα είναι άσχημη εικόνα.
And I'd actually say that the size of the photos matters less than the quality of the photo. So you want to make sure there's good lighting. I mean, there's a lot of tutorials that are on the site that we've made about how to make good photography. But I would this would be something that ask other people that are on your team. How do they set it up so it's good lighting and what's the right time of day and if it's on a person then what's the right angle.
You become very good photographers.
Excellent photographers.
Some even open the second store.
So then after you have kind of set up your shop, we see that it's very important that you put enough items in your shop. So don't think I will start and try Etsy and I will put only 3 or 4 items. People don't, when they come to your shop and they click on a red scarf, then they still tend to go to your shop and to see if there is more. And they maybe buy the same red scarf, but they kind of feel they had a choice. And at the same time, you come up if you have a red, blue, green, black, gray scarf. In search, you will also come up if somebody searches for a gray scarf and a blue scarf and a green scarf. So try to have to look like a little bit more like a business, as Andrew said, than that you are only doing this as a hobby with only a few items. At the end, we will give you some vouchers if you just started the shop and you can put up 20 items immediately. So you don't have to hesitate in any way.
So I'll just say something really quick. We've done research on the site to see that number one, the number of listings in your shop matters. So you need to have at least 14 is like the threshold. So if you have less than 14, that's bad. You should have more than 14. But then also the typical path of a buyer when they're buying something is that they'll click on an item, and then they'll click into your shop, and they'll look at the other things in your shop, and then they'll select something from that to buy, which Martha said, it may be the same thing that they clicked on before, but they'll look at your shop. So that's part of the reason why it's important to have.
Ναι. Λοιπόν, το πρώτο που είπε είναι ότι γενικώς καλό είναι αν φτιάχνετε ένα αντικείμενο να έχετε ποικιλία από το ίδιο αντικείμενο. Και αυτό γενικώς το έχω διαβάσει και στο έτσι αρκετές φορές. Δηλαδή, αν φτιάχνετε ένα κασκόλ, φτιάξτε το και σε κόκκινο και σε μπλε και σε κίτρινο και σε ό,τι χρώματα μπορείτε να το φτιάξετε και ανεβάστε το για να βλέπει ένας πιθανός αγοραστής ότι είσαστε επαγγελματίες αυτό που κάνετε και ότι δεν έχετε μόνο τρία αντικείμενα. Από έρευνες που έχει κάνει το ίδιο το έτσι μέσα στο έτσι, έχει αποδειχθεί ότι το όριο για να θεωρηθεί κανείς επαγγελματίας, έχοντας ένα μαγαζί στο έτσι, είναι τα 14 αντικείμενα. Κάτω από τα 14 είναι κακό. Προσπαθήστε να έχετε περισσότερο από 14. Στο τέλος της συγκέντρωσης θα σας δώσει ένα voucher, ένα κωδικό με το οποίο θα μπορέσετε να έχετε τα 20 πρώτα listings του μαγαζιού σας δωρεάν. Άρα δεν θα έχετε χρέωση για τα 20 πρώτα listings. Συγγνώμη, φέτος. Ναι, για πρώτη φορά, ναι.
Τα 20 επόμενα αν έχουν ήδη
Νομίζω ότι ισχύει. Ξέρεις τι, αυτό το είδαμε και τις προάλλες κάπου το πήρε το μάτι μου στο φόρουμ και νομίζω ότι θα ισχύει και για τα μαγαζιά τα οποία ήδη έχουν κάποια listings. Δεν ξέρω, μένει να το δοκιμάσουμε αυτό.
Τώρα το κάθε listing είναι 20 λεπτά του δολαρίου.
Απλά το δίνουν σαν ένα έναυσμα για να ξεκινήσετε να κάνετε το μαγαζί σας. Για 4 μήνες.
Για 4 μήνες. Για κάθε αντικείμενο.
I think there was a question there.
Να ρωτήσω
Ναι.
υπάρχουν μήπως υπάρχει αριθμός που είναι πάρα πολλά αντικείμενα για να αλλάζει.
Is there too many listings in the shop?
Ενώ να βαριέται κάποιος να κοιτάξει τις πολλές σελίδες.
There is a bit boring to look
No,
through
I think there are too many listings if you don't sell. Then it's better to spend time on looking at your listings, improving your listings, and getting more listings on there. But if you put up 1,000 listings and you're not selling, then it's not good to put 1,001 item there. It's better to look at these thousands and improve them.
Σαν επιχειρηματική κίνηση είναι καλύτερο να μην έχεις το κατάλαβες.
The other thing I'd add to that is that if you have more listings in your shop, sometimes it's very hard to know what buyers want. So if it's worth trying to put new things up and new types of items so that you can test to see if buyers want something. And I've heard that even at different times in the year you can try the same item that didn't work before, but then it sells again later. Just because buying trends, they change over the years and over the same time. So.
And also what's important, if you have 1,000 items, it's better to have them in a specific style, something that gives some coherence to your shop, because otherwise people come to your shop, they'll be totally lost. They don't know what they're buying, and then they clicked on one item that they liked, but your shop looks like, yeah, they might run away. So be coherent. Although you have different products, maybe you can put them on. Yeah.
Maybe it's better to open a new store and
I
separate
don't
their
know.
items.
It's difficult to, because I will come at the part that you start promoting your shop, and if you have more shops, it's not, you have to realize that it will cost more time. So if you're a new seller, don't open 10 shops because you have 10 products. But if you already have she has 1,000 sales in 5 stores, probably she was at the right point of starting more shops. So don't do it at the beginning. 2,000. So, yes.
So you suggest if, for example, I make accessories,
yes,
jewelry.
Yes.
If I have 3 different styles, is it good or bad to put them all together?
I would have to see them, but yeah, there are shop sections. I think you don't have a shop yet, right?
I have one.
You have?
For a month.
Okay, then stick to one shop and put them in one shop.
Okay.
I think also if it's only accessories, it's also okay. With your pictures of the products, make them with the same background. For example, you can bring some serenity or some basics back in your shop by making the background all the same. But just think about it, because there are a lot of people that like to make things. I also have that problem. I like to make things, but I don't like to do the same thing all again. And in this process, you have to find a way what works with selling. That's yes.
I don't have a shop, but I have many times visited other shops.
Yes.
And I saw that there is a segmentation per shop. So we could have 3 different collections.
Yes, yeah. No, you can.
Different segment name.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do that. So, okay, you slowly finish this, because then you can ask your own questions. So if your shop is set up and you join the team, as we said, and everything is done, then we will do promotions on site for you. We will make sure that the buyer finds your item as good as possible. But it's also good for you to know what kind of buyers would buy your items, so you can promote your shop as well. It's important to, whatever fits you, to start a Facebook page, a Twitter page, get active in communities where your buyers might be. Don't spam them, but engage in the conversation, not only to sell directly to them, but to understand them. So, as I said, I knit laptop sleeves, and for me, it was not very useful to promote my items in Teams, because most of you know how to knit, so you wouldn't buy my items. So I went looking on the internet where people that had apples would be interested in buying a sleeve. So I went outside Etsy to search for my public, and I think that's also important for you to try. We will do the things on Etsy, and we also do online advertisement, and we approach press, but it's also much about how you know who is your buyer and how you adjust your promotions to that. I don't know if you have questions about everything that came before or about this last piece.
Νομίζω καλύτερα το μεταφράσουμε αυτό το τελευταίο.
Αυτό που ανέλησε τώρα έχει να κάνει με το γεγονός ότι για να πουλήσεις κάτι, και ειδικά στο διαδίκτυο, πρέπει να γνωρίζεις το κοινό σου. Πρέπει να ξέρεις σε ποιον απευθύνεσαι. Γιατί μόνο να ξέρεις σε ποιον απευθύνεσαι, μπορείς να το προμοτάρεις σωστά και να σε βρει αυτός που σε ψάχνει. Σε γενικές γραμμές αυτό εξήγησε ουσιαστικά. Τώρα δεν ξέρω αν θέλετε να ρωτήσετε κάτι.
Πρότεινα ότι παρόλο που μπορεί να είμαστε εστιασμένοι, ας πούμε, στη σελίδα μας στο Etsy, μπορούμε και είναι ωφέλιμο να βγαίνουμε έξω από το Etsy, με το Twitter, με το Facebook, με ένα blog, με άλλους τρόπους προσέγγισης αυτού του πιθανού κοινού που θέλουμε να προσεγγίσουμε.
Well, I'll just say one more thing on top of that. So, you can ask the people that have been on Etsy for a longer period of time, but selling on Etsy it's not magic. Like, you don't come on and you list something and it sells. It takes work. It takes a lot of work to actually become successful, both to learn how to be successful on Etsy, but then also to promote your shop and to find your buyers, like Martha said. So sometimes it can be magical, but it's not. Not anymore.
So I think about the promotion, I've read that there is also an amount of money that you can put on Etsy, like 10 euros, so they can promote some of your stuff. Every page. I don't know how this works.
You don't know how it works? Like how you actually do it? Or how you find it?
When I do it, does it take my tags that I'll read first in the first row, or my description, or is it about jewelry, or?
So I believe the website is etsy.com/ads.
Yeah, or in your shop.
Yeah, you can find it. Μπορεί να το βρεις κάτω από το shop stats. Ακριβώς κάτω από το shop stats λέει search ads.
Αριστερά στη μπάρα.
Αν δεν κάνεις ενεργοποίηση, σου λέει, έχει και ένα βίντεο επεξηγηματικό. Έχουν αλλάξει και τον τρόπο που λειτουργεί και σου εξηγεί πώς πρέπει να τα βάλεις, με ποια λογική. Σου λέει πόσο πρέπει να ξοδέψεις, για το πόσο είναι καλό να ξοδέψεις χρησιμοποιώντας τα.
Και αν θυμάμαι καλά, Και όταν κάνεις listing, επάνω έχει promote your item, κάπως έτσι. Και μπορείς εκεί να πατήσεις και μετά και να σε οδηγήσει.
Και έχει διάρκεια αυτό.
Νομίζω μόνο το κάτι
Who are the people who buy from Etsy? Are they people who own shops and they're familiar with the procedure and they will also look for something else? Or are they people who know Etsy and they know that if they want something handmade, they will look on Etsy?
The Etsy buyer has changed a lot over the years. I think in the past, when the community was much smaller, then Etsy was much more known for specifically for handmade. So you got people that came on that were very enthusiastic about handmade specifically. Etsy now has become known, I think, much more for just unique items. So people don't necessarily come on and think like handmade when they think Etsy. They think that they're going to find something very unique. So that being said, we have 40 million unique buyers every month. So there is no like.
Do you have a percentage of what have shopped on Etsy?
Who have shopped in the past, you mean? Who have a shop?
How many buyers
Yes.
are also sent?
Okay, so we have 40 million buyers every month, and we have about 700,000 active sellers.
No,
that's the maximum amount of buyers that could be sellers.
And all virtually all sellers will buy as well.
Οπότε το μέγιστο θα μπορούσε να είναι αυτός. Από τα 40 εκατομμύρια αγοραστές, τα 700.000 έχουν και μαγαζί.
Πάντως και οι Etsy sellers αγοράζουν πολύ από το Etsy.
Αυτό καταλαβαίνω.
And that depends much on your product. So if you're selling supplies, obviously you also sell to other sellers. If in my case, I don't have anybody that also has a shop, I generally sell to men who come for the first time on Etsy because they found my promotion somewhere on Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, whatever. So it depends on which kind of target group you have. So don't worry about who is on Etsy, worry about who would buy your product and then find them.
How is the products of the first page when you click Etsy.com are chosen, and how can you be in the first page, not in the tag, but the first page?
Yeah, so those products are chosen by a group of people, and the products that show on the homepage, there's 3 different versions of the homepage. There's one for Australia, there's one for Europe, and there's one for everywhere else. And so we have different teams that choose those different.
Where's this thing?
Where's this thing?
So